Hello Taurus, welcome back. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Hope you enjoy the reading. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe. This is a general reading, so it may apply to you, or aspects of it may apply to somebody else that you're close to at this time. So just see, it could be playing out in their lives and you're actually seeing it in your card spread. All things are relevant, so just take it as it comes for you. If you have strong influences in your birth chart associated with another sign, like a prominent moon, or perhaps a Venus, or you perhaps have a strong one house that is particularly strong in your chart, or a strong ascendant, then you can cross-watch to my other videos for more insight and information. I have shuffled and laid out the cards already, so as they are appearing in each house of the zodiac, there's 12 houses, then those are the influences that are coming to bear for you at this time. So the bottom of the deck was South Node, Life's Debts. So the aspects of this card are coming through in your chart this month. So this is all about letting go of the past in order to move forward. So there are some things about you, or possibly in your life, some things are holding you back. You need to let these go now. So this would be old patterns, old routines, things that you just do without thinking. You know, it could be a job or a way of life. You just continue day after day doing the same thing. There's no joy, there's no creativity, there's no real passion about what you're doing, that kind of thing. Or it could be old repetitive patterns and routines which just you've outgrown now, or you need to outgrow in order to move forward. So this is all about dropping the baggage, whatever it may be. Only you will know what it is. It's time to let all that go now, so that you can really move forward, to really resolve a whole lot of things and move forward into your future. It could also be to do with things like addictions, letting addictions go, and that does come up in your chart as well. So it could be any kind of addiction, and it could be an addiction to drama, it could be an addiction to a situation, or to a person, or to a way of life, or to certain things within that lifestyle that you're addicted to. So it's about overcoming that, resolving various issues that those addictions are trying to feed, resolving those and moving forward. It could also be that you've been feeling very trapped up until now in certain circumstances, and you really need to let go of those things now, so that you can move forward into your new life. That's what this card is about. It's all about dropping baggage, and it could be very quick, it could be fast, it could be sudden endings. Who knows what goes on when this comes for you? There really is nothing you can do. It will happen, and you've got to move forward. Then in the first house we have Black Moon Lilith Mystery. So with the first house, that's everything to do with the self, everything to do with your physical body, your vitality, your personality. It's also your outward appearance, so how you're coming across to other people as well. So your personality, your characteristics, but what you're projecting as well. We all project. So what you're projecting to others, what they're picking up, how they're perceiving you, and also just your own personal independence, how you are making your way in the world, what's going on your outlook, your attitude, the way you're moving forward. So with this card, there's a couple of warnings with this card, but it could also be that the issues around this card are directed at you. So you're either going through them, you're seeing them in somebody else, or they could be directed at you in some way. So I do feel that this may be, there is a fair amount of abundance coming in for you in your chart, if you do the work, if you do the work, which is what this card is all about, the letting go of the baggage. In your 12th house, which is all about the unconscious, you have a wonderful card, Jupiter return in there. So really you have a wonderful, very quick, fast moving opportunity to let go, or to resolve, or to finish, to solve a whole lot of problems, to really lift yourself up. And in doing so, you may attract sort of negative emotions from others, because they see you changing, they see you growing, they see you moving forward. It could be that, or it could be that you're seeing this in somebody else. to see how it is. But if you are feeling these emotions and you're experiencing this, then you need to find a healthy outlet. So basically, Black Moon Lilith mystery, there is a fair amount of mystery that comes with this card, but it's the kind of mystery where it's like you're waiting for something to happen, all right? Something is a bit mysterious, or it could be unclear. You just don't have all the facts. Some things are obscured from you at this time. So it's unclear path, facts are obscured, things are a little bit mysterious, but it also could be that you're holding your breath, waiting for something to happen. Undercurrents going on. But it's also about, be careful what comes from fear, anger, or any of these other emotions like envy, jealousy, bitterness, revenge, and guilt, feelings of being slighted or overlooked. So bitterness comes in there as well. Rebellion may even come in there. So all of these emotions are darker feminine emotions. It's also the strength of the darker feminine, which can come in as well. So you may just have to hold tight to certain things, to not give way on certain issues if that is appropriate for you. But it's also about finding a healthy outlet for these darker emotions, which could really, if they're expressed, they could undo a whole lot of work and a whole lot of effort that you've already put in. It could all just be undone in one fell swoop. So be very careful with that. But as I said, it could be that it's being directed at you by others, or you could be seeing it in another. But if it is you, then find a healthy outlet for it. Those sort of darker emotions. It's also, as I said, undercurrents could be swirling around you right now. This is a card of also outsmarting others. So it's a kind of winning energy as well, but it's outsmarting others. You could be doing that at this time. There's complicated circumstances. You could be involved in a secret affair of some kind. That does also come out. Obsessions come out with this card. Also unplanned births. Who knows how it affects you. So just think about all of those things. See how it is panning out for you, whether it's for you or somebody else. Then in the second house, we have Taurus I have. So this is a growth card, a growth and abundance card. It's coming into your second house, which is a really good place for it to be. Second house is your house of income. It's also the house of your self-worth, and also the house of your value systems. So what you value in yourself, what you value in others, and just what you value in general. And this is possessions, ownership. This house also covers land, property, real estate, anything like that, and also your local environment can come in as well. So so just see how you do with that. But it's basically your security, whether this is internal or external. And with this card, it's all about growth and abundance, that you have the opportunity for planting seeds now. Okay, so I do feel with this boost that you get in your unconscious, it could play out where you now start taking action in certain areas, which is going to bring you abundance. And that is clearly coming up in your chart. Some things you just have to let go of, which is what this card tells you to do. And I feel when you do that, then you will be able to harness this abundant energy. So planting seeds, it's about independence. It's a very stable and positive card coming in for you, very stable and positive energy. Money matters will be front and center. So all money matters, and this is bank accounts, accumulating funds, investments, currency, counting, everything to do with numbers and currency, money, and accumulating and working things out. It's all everything to do with that. It's also about what you own, assessing that, and perhaps making necessary purchases and so on. It's a good time to ask for finance or for a pay rise. That may be appropriate for you at this time. This card is also about the arts. So you may be involved in that in some way, or perhaps you're wanting to invest in something to do with that, but it's everything to do with the arts. So this is stage work. This is anything artistic. It all comes in under this, and it could even be a ballet. It could be music, any of the arts. So it could be of interest for you, or it's something to do with perhaps you're earning money in that field, or perhaps you want to do something in that. You want to take up an activity in one of those things and you're going to earn money from that income. It's something to do with that. This is also a card of nurturing. So this is nurturing of yourself, which is very important for your self-worth, and also the nurturing of others, or the nurturing of your money, your accounting, or your projects, or your possessions, what it is you want to possess and how you want to, go forward with that. But all of it really comes down to your self-worth. You want to feel abundant. You want to feel that you're growing and improving your situation, and becoming more independent. And that is all about planting seeds for the future as well. And this is a very good card to help you with that. It's also a card of materialism. So, yes, it's fine to harness your possessions, to actually take ownership of certain things, as long as it doesn't overtake you and become an obsession. So just be aware of that. Then in the third house, we have Leo, I will. So it's a very positive card to be having in your third house. This is the house of your communication, your expression. So this is all forms of communication: written, verbal, body language, anything to do with online interactions. It's also the house of contracts and documents. So it's a very positive card to be coming in. It's about expressing yourself in an honorable way as well. You need to do that. So show strength and handle everything in this house in an honorable way. So all forms of communication. This could be communication to others around you, one-on-one, but it can also be a wider audience. So this is the public. So you could be, getting involved in something, and therefore, handling yourself in an honorable way becomes doubly important, because now you've got many more people looking at you and assessing what it is that you're producing. So think about that, because this card can bring you into the spotlight, and you could very well be the center of attention in some way. So it's about showing strength, and it's all about warmth, vitality. You could also be involved in some sort of romantic communication as well. So giving romantic messages or receiving romantic messages. You could be communicating with a particular person, and it's a very loving, strong and honorable communication. So a lovely card. All things romantic. It's also it could also be to do with specific communication to people that are close to you, like this would be relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, and also neighbors can come in as well. So so you will be at the center of something with this card, in the spotlight in some way. It could be that you're in a greater public profile or a public forum of some kind. There's recognition, there's appreciation. Creativity is very strong with this card. Also youth and children come in with this card, so you may be involved in that in some way. Perhaps you're a teacher. The stage or stage work comes in, and anything to do with the media, being in the media in some way, whether it's TV or series or the stage, or it could even be films, who knows, but you're kind of in the limelight in some way, and it's almost like a bigger audience. This indicates growth in reputation and career. Originality comes in with the Leo card. You could also be multitasking quite a lot. It's also about spontaneity. So make sure that you're involving that energy in yourself, that spontaneous, lovely, warm energy. This house is also about short local trips. So this could be trips just locally. Take a trip to somewhere in the sun, if you've got something nearby that you can go and do, or just a warm place, or a fun place, or a creative place. Perhaps you want to go on some kind of creative adventure. It's a painting holiday or something. But it's local, it's not international. Necessarily. When we say international, I'm talking about a long journey that takes massive planning. This is a quick, short local trip. It could also be that you're socializing quite a bit at this time, and at this time of the year it's entirely possible. Nightlife is involved, concerts, music, live events, that kind of thing could be very well featuring for you. Then in the fourth house we have part of fortune increase, lovely card. So this card coming into your fourth house, this is the house of home and family. So it's your home the the actual physical structure where you live. It's also it covers the people in your home and also the atmosphere in your home. It's also about your relationship with your family, your roots, your foundation, your ancestry, your ethnic identity, whatever is appropriate for you. So it's your relationship with all of that, where you've come from. Part of fortune increase is exactly that. So you can expect a time of easy flow in this house. You could be resolving conflicts. There's generosity coming in, whether you're giving that out or you're receiving it. There's balance with this card, a sense of belonging as well. Good fortune comes in, which brings in happiness, wealth, success. You may work from home, and you sort of something is taking off for you there, or you could be bringing success home and enjoying it in your home life. If it's to do with your physical structure where you're actually living, you could be repairing what needs to be fixed at this time. Perhaps you get some sort of a windfall, or you've been planning something and now you can go ahead with that. It could also be that you're embarking on a lifestyle which is off the grid. Okay, it's a very popular notion at this time. Lots of people are doing it, and you could be dipping your toe in that. It's also the stirring of inherent talents and abilities. And that's normally a karmic trigger sets that off. So it's the stirring of those. Something could be rising to the surface. So whether this is something to do with your home, perhaps you're doing a renovation or you're redecorating or something, and and all of a sudden you realize that you're actually really quite good at this. Or it could just be that you're seeing this in your home. Perhaps you have people in your home which are going to stir certain talents. It's their influence on you in your home which is going to stir these talents that have been latent in you. And therefore there is learning to do with that. So whatever comes up, whatever you discover, any kind of hidden talent or ability, there's learning around that, which is required to monetize it or to enhance it or to hone it. But it's all to do, it could even be some kind of family trait which you thought you never had, or some old aunt or uncle from way back had the same talent and now it's appearing in you. So it's something to do with that. Then in the fifth house, we have a lovely card, Jupiter Abundance. Fifth house is the house of your creativity or creative endeavors, just your personal creativity, how you're expressing yourself, whether it's in your creative work, the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you do your children's parties, the way you dress your home, how you conduct yourself. There's lots of ways where creativity can be used. It's not necessarily artistic, okay? It's also the house of children. So this can be everything to do with children, your children or somebody else's that you're associated with at the moment. It's also the house of love affairs. So a love affair could be coming in for you. And it could be a Jupiter type person, very outgoing, kind of big person, very jolly, socializing, quite philosophical, very independent, all these qualities, all the Jupiterian qualities, loves to laugh, loves life. And it's also the house of recreational and pleasurable activities of all kinds. So whether that's to do with your love affair, lots of sensual activities and all of that, or it could be to do with a particular activity which you're enjoying, from handcrafts right through to physical activities like clubs, sports, and so on. It's also the house of speculation. So this could be like gambling or a speculative activity like working on the stock exchange and so on. All right. So with Jupiter Abundance coming in, that's exactly what it brings in for you. So going across the spectrum, it could be conception even. Something to do with children. As I said, it could be anything to do with children, your children or somebody else's, but it could be conception right through to your children receiving, being particularly joyful and abundant because they've received a reward or a gift, or some kind of abundance coming into them, and you're experiencing it through them, or it's coming in through to you and you're sharing it with your children, however it comes in for you. But it's a lovely, there's generosity, there's abundance, blessings with this card, joyfulness, positivity, gifts, as I said. There could be a lucky break of some kind. You may even be going on sort of activities which are to do with learning or visiting places of learning. Perhaps your children are embarking on a university career and you're now going with them to do these things, to go and figure out where they're going to learn. It also could be bringing in horses or other big animals. Perhaps you are involved in that in some way, and that is an activity for you. It's also about purposeful activities. Jupiter can really bring in purpose for you, or it can highlight your purpose for you. So you could be now doing activities which are really very helpful to you, whatever they may be. It also is the card of finishing what you start. So anything you start in this house, ensure that you finish it, because Jupiter will bring the boost in, but it's quite a rapid energy, Jupiter. It's not a long-term unfolding energy. This has a rapid feeling to it. It comes in, opportunities come in, you've got to jump on them, you've got to take them, seize the moment, and follow all opportunities that come to you in this house. Another aspect of Jupiter is the other end of the scale, which is overindulgence or anything excessive, anything over the top. Jupiter can bring that in as well. Then in the 6th house, we have Neptune sacrifice. So the 6th house is your house of work, workplace, work colleagues, your daily routines around that. It's the mastery of your craft, whatever that may be. It's also the house of health and diet and lifestyle, and it's the house of pets. Okay, so this card has a number of aspects to it. It has the one side, and then it has the other, and you will just have to see how it applies for you in this house. So it's about the unknown, facing the unknown in some way. It's the card of illusions and fantasies. So just be careful you're not falling prey to that. It's almost like gullibility. So be careful. You may just have illusions around you, or some kind of deception going on, or just things are not clear. They're just not clear. And Neptune can do that. It's also about having rose-tinted spectacles. That is definitely a Neptune situation. You could be confused about certain things in this house. Or, as I said, some things are being concealed. There's a lack of clarity. This card is also very much about self-undoing, which came up in your 1st house, and it's overtures of that in your overall at the bottom of the deck, which is the South Node. So this is falling prey to things which are not serving you, or thinking things are the way they are in a certain way when they're really not. It's about being realistic, and that's quite hard to do when Neptune is having full effect. So this is about really looking inward and being very careful that what you're doing is going to help you and is in your best interest. Because self-undoing can be self-sabotage. It can be undoing everything that you're trying to do. So you're kind of working against yourself in some way. So be careful with that. It's also the card of boundaries. So the boundaries can get obscured when Neptune is around, because things are not clear. You could be surrounded by people who are draining you, or who are testing your boundaries in some way. So make sure that they're firm and clear, and that you're not being taken in, and that your energy is not being sort of siphoned off. The other side of this is very much about mysticism. It's about dreams, psychic development, imagination, inspiration. So falling in your house of work, this is very important if you are artistic, or you're needing to access your imagination. Perhaps you're a writer, or you are an illustrator, or you're in the film industry, or something like that. Because harnessing those beautiful aspects is very important, and this card, out of all of them, is going to do it for you. It really does open your higher consciousness to the divine, and you're able to download, you're able to access the world of fantasy and illusion and magic, and the higher realms, and even connection to God and connection to the divine, whatever it is for you. It's all about connecting to that global consciousness and so on. So all of that can come in with this card as well. On a more practical side, it's about this card covers the film industry, everything to do with the film industry. It's got a glamour aspect to it, so anything glamorous falls in under this, which can be a form of illusion as well. Poetry, music, art, all of that falls in with this card. Looking at the health and diet aspect of it, As I said, some things may be unclear. You may go for tests and nothing gets resolved. Nothing is really certain. You can't really get to the bottom of everything. You may have phantom illnesses or reactions to things. But most of all, Neptune rules addictions of all kinds. Okay, so this, as I said before, it can be any kind of addiction. If it's affecting your health and your diet and your lifestyle, then it needs to be dealt with. All right. It could also be affecting your nerves and your lymphatic system. You could also be surrounded or have toxins in your home or in your environment which are affecting your health. So toxins, poisons, anything like that. So rethink how you are living your life or where you are working, and is it worth it really to put your health at risk? So any issues to do with that you will have to deal with this card. But as I said, you may have phantom things that come up, then you go to deal with them or you go to address them and they just subside or they can never get resolved. So just be aware of that aspect of Neptune can come in. Then in the 7th house we have Aquarius. I know 7th house is your house of one-on-one relationships, close personal committed relationships. This is the next step up from a love affair. Okay, so this is the committed relationship. So this can be one-on-one love partnership, or it could be a business partnership that you're entering into, or any other kind of close personal relationship that you're busy with at the moment. So with this card, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So this is the Uranus is the god of change, but it's also the god of incredible insight and realization, and so on. So you could be having in your relationship insight into the future, or just insight into certain aspects of this relationship. You could have a surprise of some kind. But you really are going to be accessing your intuition, and you're going to be able to get glimpses of either the future or how things are going to play out, or just perhaps it's visualization. Perhaps you're visualizing something incredible for yourself and your partner, or you want to visualize it and you need to focus on that, and Aquarius is very helpful with that. You could also be trying new things in your relationship. So it's trying new things, whether this is physically or with your actual partner, experiencing new things, just trying new things to change the direction your relationship is going in, or just trying new things in general. If it's a business partnership or some other kind of partnership, you could be really approaching things from a technological point of view, because Aquarius rules that. So this is normally high tech, or it's going to be an upgrade of some kind. Okay. In both cases, whether it's a love partnership or a business partnership, friendship first. Aquarians are very much on the friendship front. It's friendship first, and then if there is love, that comes later. Friendship is very, very important for them. It's their solid base. They can come across as a bit detached and unemotional. So either one of a partner in your life may be exhibiting this at the moment, or maybe you are, or they're being very idealistic, or you could be very idealistic, or you could be together like that. And they've got a sort of a very detached and unemotional approach. Everything's more about reasoning and so on. Or it could be that you're required to do that now in your relationship. Perhaps there are things going on and you just need to detach to give the relationship space to grow. And this could very much be a twin flame situation where detachment is key. And your insight and your intuition is very, very important to guide you there, and friendship is hugely important. That has got to be your basis, and then you can move on from there. But just see how this plays out for you. It's also with the relationship that you're in, you could be receiving support from friends and alliances at this time. So they could be supporting you. Perhaps you have a relationship with somebody and your friends are rallying you around to support you with whatever's going down. It could be a very unconventional or unusual relationship, or you are doing unusual or unconventional things, whether that's love or business, because Aquarius does rule that. There's a kind of a bohemian side to it, exotic, different. Even transgender or transsexual comes in on this, so I just see how that plays out for you. But there's also the humanitarian side of Aquarius. Perhaps you're getting involved in humanitarian activities together, or you meet this person through that, or it's part of a business partnership, or you're partnering with somebody in that. The other aspect of Aquarius is stubbornness, being very fixed in your views and how you do things or don't do things. So that could be coming in. All of these aspects need to be looked at in this relationship. Then following on from that, so the 7th house leads into the 8th house, because this is all the merging of you and another in a committed partnership or relationship. So it's the merging of your emotional and material resources. So the coming together, and it's all of the nuts and bolts of that, whether it's sexual or monetary, whatever it is. So the 8th house deals with all of that. It also deals with big finance. So this is investments, inheritances, insurances, taxes, banking, accounting, assets, anything to do with that comes in. It's the house of endings and beginnings. It's the house of sex, death, and rebirth. So that could be regeneration or renewal, and the death can be a literal death, but it can also be an ego death or something falling away to make way for something new. And as I said, the sexual side, or whether you're in a partnership or not, sex falls under the 8th house. So with the Libra card coming in, I balance. The Libra card is all about partnership, engagement, marriage, commitment. All of those things come in, partnership of all kind. So so with this card coming in, what it's saying is that whatever's going on, you need to balance your needs with another. So you can't, in order to avoid conflict, put aside your needs. Your needs need to be looked at, and you have to balance yours and theirs. Okay, so this is for a deeper commitment. It could also be, as I said, in a partnership. So whether this is engagement, marriage, or a partnership, there's some kind of coming together here, and it's highly appropriate to work with another at this time. Going to be very helpful for you. So link up with another. This may involve negotiation, mediation when you're merging like that, but it could also be part of your profession. Perhaps you do this in your 8th house as part of your profession, negotiation, mediation, monetary things, finance, because this house can also rule other people's resources, so dealing with that in some way. This card is also very much about fairness and following the rules. It has a strong legal aspect to it. So legal matters, the courts, the high courts, attorneys, everything to do with that come in under this. So you could be waiting for a judgment, or perhaps you're approaching that in some way to do something. You know, this card also could be that you're sitting on the fence about something and you need to make a decision. Best you make the decision and get it done, otherwise it will be made for you and you may not like the outcome. This is also about merging with another, as I said, but it's you know, it's receiving, you know, coming together and having a supportive alliance in some way. You could be signing contracts. There's sharing involved in this card. So all of those aspects coming in the 8th house. Then in the 9th house, we have fire element desire. So very fiery energy, as you can see, and it's all about what do you want and how are you going to get it. So with this card coming in, the 9th house is very much about international travel, all things international, you meeting the world or the world meeting you in some way. So this is everything to do with, it could be online, connecting with people in foreign countries. Everything foreign falls under the 9th house. So international, foreign, long distance travel, but it is also very much the house of adventure and exploration, whether this is in your mind, you know, through learning or however, or it could be from actual physical visiting foreign places, but it's expansion of all of that. It's also the house of faith and wisdom and the learning of that and the understanding and the meaning of life. And that comes through philosophy, religion, and belief systems. So it's the understanding of all that. You could be studying any of those subjects. It's also the house of, as I said, further education and study. So this is university level or adult education. It's also the house of teaching, publishing, and the house of the law and all the higher courts, everything to do with the law. Whether you're learning it, involved in it, working in it, however. It's also the relationship to your in-laws, if you have in-laws. So with this card, what it's saying is that there are going to be changes coming up in this house. There's new movement. It's going to be quick. You could be burning away, clearing the decks. So really clearing the landscape to plant new things. So this is, clearing the landscape to plant fresh. So it could be that you really are clearing things completely, absolutely scorching the, scorched earth policy, or it may not even be as drastic as that, but you are definitely planting new things. There could be a completely new direction for you at this time. It's also about putting away the past to welcome in the future. All right. So this card is also about determination. It's about passion. It's about getting new direction or new perspective. So you could have a wake-up call or an epiphany of some kind. But it really is a kind of a shake awake. You've got to act assertively in some way with this card. So you may have to get up front with somebody or up front in a situation to get clear. Put your cards on the table. It's about courage. It's about daring. And having confidence as well. So cards on the table, protect your interests. You may be involved in an ego battle of some kind. Protect your interests, protect what you have started and what you have worked on. And you could be facing a few challenges, as I said, but there's definitely some kind of new attitude or new perspective coming in here for you. It could even be a trip that you're wanting to go on, and now you get the energy and the motivation to get on it and do it. But whatever it is, it's going to bring you a new perspective, and there's a bit of a wake-up call or an epiphany of some kind in with this card. Then in the 10th house, we have air element communicating. 10th house is the house of career, fame, reputation, and public status, your public status. It's also the house of authority figures, whether this is somebody in your home life or whether it's somebody at your in your career, or just a figure that you look up to in your life, and what you're sort of molding yourself on. So with the 10th house, this card, because it's a career house, I'm focusing on certain aspects of it. It can bring in science, technology, travel, communication, publishing, writing, music, and that's normally wind instruments. So there's classes, there's lectures, there's ambition with this card. So a very positive card to be having in your 10th house. It's also about being inventive, finding solutions, testing theories. It's also the card of manifestation. It's like waving a magic wand, but you drive that through your thoughts and what you say. So positive self-talk, positive thoughts, and then and also what you say to others, what you just say in general, must come from a positive thought. From the positive thought comes positive words, and from that you will make positive manifestations. So all things negative have to go, have to, if you want to manifest the right things. This card can also be about receiving news or giving news, but quite often it's about receiving news about something. So a message could be coming in, or just news in general. It's also about you putting into words what it is you want and being honest about that. So you may have to, if you're going to ask for a pay rise, which came up earlier on, then this is going to be important. So you also need to think things through. If you're grappling with an issue or you're trying to make a decision on something, think things through, weigh it up, be logical and sort it out. That's what this card brings in. All things communication, or everything to do with words and formulation, writing, any kind of expression is highly indicated with this. And technology, very, very important technology. Right, so with the 11th house, we have Mercury mind. So another mental card coming in. The previous one was also very mental oriented. So this house is the house of friendship. It's the house of your ideals, your visions and hopes and dreams for yourself, your hobbies and your interests. It's also the house of contacts and networks, and group activities of all kinds, societies, associations, clubs, and groups of companies even. So it's global consciousness. It's the house of social reform. It's the house of trends. So if you're a trend watcher, it falls into the 11th house. So with the Mercury mind, this is very much about communication. Again, communication is very important. Words, editing may come in, but just what you say to others is very, very important at this time. So watch what you say. Be very, very careful about gossip or news circulating about others or certain situations. The truth may be coming out about something. You could be required to use humor in your interactions at this time. As I said, especially when it comes to dealing with others, networks, contacts, or just expressing yourself in general. But as I said, just be careful with gossip and news, scandals, that kind of thing can come up with this. It's also a card of using your intellect at this time. So you really got to apply your mental faculties to what you want to get done in this house, and really think things through. Be careful that you don't come across as glib or argumentative or overly chatty, too much talk and not enough actually being done. This card also rules technology, electronics, the internet, travel, particularly in vehicles, cars, maps, road maps, things like that may come in. And it's also about being flexible and adaptable. So you may have to walk your talk, really, at this time. Quick developments could come in for you in this house. And friendships are highlighted, and it is the friendship house, so be aware of that. And observation and reasoning. So you may be involved in group activities where this is a really necessary activity at this time. But when it comes to socializing and all that at this time of the year, be very, very careful what you say. And, as I said, positive manifestation is hugely important. And coming hot on the heels of that, with your positive manifestation, which came up in your 10th and now your 11th house as well, this is your 12th house, which is the house of the unconscious. So if you are talking to yourself in a very positive way, not allowing the negative self-talk to influence you, then you will be able to harness Jupiter's wonderful abundance and blessings energy much, much better, because you will be open to receive it. You'll be positive, which is very much what Jupiter is all about. So this is the house of the unconscious, the 12th house, what your drives and motivations are, all the hidden emotions and things that go on in your unconscious. It's also the house of where you go to retreat, to withdraw, to reflect. It's also the house of your spirituality, your mysticism, your healing, your meditation, and so on. It's also the house of escapism, where you go when you just want to break away from everything, but when that becomes too much, then it becomes addiction. So yet again, we have addictions coming up, if that is a thing for you. It's also the house of resolutions and endings. So resolution is very, very important this time around, this month for you. Resolving things, overcoming things, resolutions. It's also the house of service to others. You could be in a service industry, perhaps you're in a helping industry, perhaps you're a nurse or a doctor or something like that. So that is highlighted in the 12th house. It's also the house of what you meet when you are involved in institutions of all kinds. So you may be visiting an institution of some kind, hospital, a government institution, or a university, or a library, or a prison even. Any kind of institution falls under the 12th house. It could even be a museum. So with Jupiter return benefits, this card does a rotation around the zodiac, and it comes back about every 12 years. So something from about 10 to 12 years ago could be coming back for you now to bring some kind of benefit or some kind of reward, or bears fruit. So it could have been an old idea or a plan or a business, or just something that you wanted to do, that far back, and it just never came around, it never happened. Well, it could come back to you now and be successful. So it could also be that something that you've been grappling with for the last 10 to 12 years, whether it's a health issue or something, or it's sort of a difficult mindset, perhaps it's depression, something like that, you could very well find resolution at this time, because Jupiter can do that. Jupiter can give you the resolution, or the some kind of cure or rescue from something. So your path is clearing, less resistance. This card brings in a good fortune. But bear in mind that this is always to do with inner development, because this is the 12th house. So there's some kind of abundance coming in for you. Your dreams can manifest with this card. So, you know, dream big at this time. It's also the card of faith, spirituality, and destiny. All of those can come in. So your faith could be really, you know, boosted in some way, or spirituality. This is the house of spirituality, but there's destiny involved here somehow. This is a very optimistic card. So as I said, your mindset could be changing. You could be solving some long-held belief which has held you back in some way. As I said, with the South Node card, that you need to drop old baggage. You need to drop something which is holding you back. So this could be the energy to come in to do that for you, to help you with that. You still have to do it. You still have to put the work in. You still have to apply yourself. You still have to steer the ship. But with Jupiter behind you, and you've got it there, and you've got it in your 4th house, and you've got other very wonderful cards coming in, you really got a wonderful opportunity now to do that, to drop that baggage and get yourself out of wherever you are. So this brings in optimism, positivity. It also brings in gratitude. So show gratitude for whatever comes in for you at this time. And you could be expressing gratitude to others. This, as I said, this card can bring in a rescue of some kind as well. It could also be divine communication, especially being in the 12th house, which is all about that. So you could be connecting to the divine in some way, or to the universe in some way. This is also about, this card can also bring in higher education, publishing. So you may be contemplating that at this time. This involves a sort of a change of your mindset or your inner beliefs. It's also the card which brings you freedom and happiness. So as I do feel it's that you're overcoming something, or you're getting past something, or you're moving on to just a better frame of mind, or just feeling better about things in general. And that is going to boost you tremendously. It's going to be like a firework all the way around your chart. The other side of this card can be that things are going so well, and that you feel so happy about stuff that you kind of become lazy or complacent or overindulgent. And no, that's not the way to go. If you really want to harness Jupiter, you've got to use all that positive energy. You've got to follow every opportunity that comes to you. Really, you know, really try to bring as much as you can in, follow everything, and be optimistic, and to draw that goodness to you. All right, Taurus, hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe. Have a wonderful month. Take care, and a great start to 2020. Happy New Year.